Is there trouble in paradise for Hyatt Residence Club? Well, Hyatt Residence Club Sunset Harbor in Key West, Florida is setting up for a vote to maybe drop their affiliation with Hyatt. Let's talk all about it right after this. Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. We're going to jump right into this video today talking about Hyatt Residence Club and specifically Sunset Harbor, one of their premier resort properties in Key West, Florida. Very popular with owners at Sunset Harbor and also, of course, popular with other Hyatt Residence Club owners who like to perhaps try and go there using their club points. So what's going on with Sunset Harbor in Key West? Well, kind of like Hyatt Grand Aspen that I actually told you about not too long ago, last year, actually in September. I did do a video about it up here. They actually dropped their affiliation with Hyatt Residence Club. They were not happy with Hyatt as the managing company for their resort. So they essentially dropped them, went with a different management firm to manage their resort. Similar things are now happening at Sunset Harbor in Key West. And the board of directors there has now sent out an email to the ownership and scheduled a special meeting on July 14th, 2022 to vote on two things here. The first one just happens to be a vote to terminate the management contract with Hyatt Residence Club. They're not happy with the fee structure of how Hyatt Residence Club calculates their management fee. Essentially, Hyatt Residence Club, per their contract, is allowed to charge up to 15% of the total operating and reserve costs for the resort. Now, what is actually happening is they're planning actually to increase that to 14% in 2023 and 15% in 2024. The board of directors thinks that fee is way too high. They're actually probably able to go to an independent resort management company for a lot less than that. So in addition to that management fee, the board of directors also has some other concerns about just general expenditures. Hyatt Residence Club, along with a number of other timeshare brands, they like to get these kind of preferred contracts with a number of different vendors and whatnot. They might not always be the best deal for the resort. And obviously, in a situation where the management fee is based on a percentage of the maintenance fees, there's really no incentive there to keep costs down by the management company, because the higher the maintenance fee, the higher the management fee is as well. This is kind of goes across all timeshare brands. It's not unique just to Hyatt Residence Club. But this resort, they say they have a high owner occupancy. So numbers that I've seen are in the 80% range. So that means that 80% of the owners are actually using their home resort weeks. And they're not actually exchanging out using club points. They don't necessarily need Hyatt Residence Club as the resort manager. And that takes us to the next item up for vote, and that is to terminate the club membership agreement. This is actually the agreement that has Sunset Harbor and Hyatt Residence Club, the actual club agreement, where owners at Hyatt Residence Club and owners at other Hyatt resorts can use club points to exchange between different Hyatt Residence Club resorts. So the board really doesn't like this because they like their resort and they don't so much like transient occupants that come for 1, 2, 3 days and then leave. For whatever reason, they want to do away with this contract, which also obviously kind of goes hand in hand to some degree with the management contract. I'm not really sure how you can have one without the other, but apparently you can. So they want to do away with that, and that would also save owners $157 plus the management fee per week. So Hyatt is a little bit unique here in that they charge a $157 club fee, at least this year, per week owned in their system. So if you own 1 week, you're paying $157. If you own 2 weeks, you're paying that times 2. You own 3, you own 4, you own 5, you're paying that $157 for every week you own. And not only is it $157, it's actually $157 plus the 13% management fee. They actually include that club fee in the maintenance fees, and thus it also gets tacked on the 13% management fee this year. So they actually want to do away with that club resort agreement, save essentially what is $177 in total per week. That can essentially save owners considerable amounts of money, especially if they own multiple weeks. So they essentially want to completely disconnect themselves from Hyatt Residence Club, pretty much in the exact same way that Hyatt Grand Aspen did last year. So what exactly does this mean? What are the pros and cons? Obviously, I kind of went over some of the pros of if you as an owner were to vote yes to essentially both of these items, they'd be potentially saving some management fees, and they'd also be saving at least at a minimum that $177 or $157, whichever way you want to kind of say that, in the club fee per week owned. And ultimately, if you're an owner there and you're using your home resort week and you're never using points in the Hyatt Residence Club system, that $157 really doesn't get you anything other than a free membership account with Interval International, which you can of course use for member getaways and other discounts on travel. If you're obviously staying at your home resort, you won't be most likely exchanging through Interval, so you wouldn't be using the exchange function, the exchange feature of Interval International, but maybe you're buying some getaways, so you'll be replacing a $157 fee, potentially, if you can sign up later with Interval International, a $99 annual membership fee. But let's talk about some of the cons here. Obviously, if both of these go through as a yes, then obviously Hyatt Residence Club is no longer the managing entity, nor is it the club for Sunset Harbor. There are going to be some savings, but the cons here is you won't be able to, as an owner at Hyatt Residence Club Sunset Harbor, use club points to go to other resorts. So for that maybe 10 to 20% of people who actually own at Hyatt Residence Club Sunset Harbor and they're using their points, well, they're out of luck. Their only option is really going to be to use their home resort week or potentially exchange through some type of exchange company. So that is the big drawback. You're losing access to use points to book between different Hyatt Residence Club resorts. Now, another drawback is that something that tends to happen when resorts go independent, they tend to try and get really, really strict on maintenance fees. They don't want to increase maintenance fees. Now, Hyatt Residence Club, along with the other timeshare brands like Marriott, Vistana, Westin, Hilton, Sheraton, they kind of go off of a 5 and 10 year or even a 6 and 12 year refurbishment cycle, meaning every 5 or 6 years they're doing some type of refurbishment, whether it's a soft goods refurbishment where they come in and do the paint, they replace the carpet, they replace the soft goods furnishings, or a 10 or 12 year cycle where they're doing kind of the hard goods or the case goods as they call it. They might need to replace cabinets, they might need to replace appliances or even fixtures in the villas. So that's something that independent timeshare resorts tend not to do. They get away from the timeshare brands that's trying to maintain a specific hotel brand standard, and they just decide, hey, we'll fix things as we need to. So as a refrigerator breaks, they might try and repair it, or they might just replace that one refrigerator. Or if a dishwasher is not working, they'll try and fix that too, or replace it. They don't tend to have these regular cycles of refurbishment. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, and I know everybody who's thinking, hey, we're going to continue to do that. It's really easy to get caught in the trap when you don't have a brand there that's holding you to a specific standard. To maintain that standard, it's really easy to get into that trap of, hey, we're just going to fix things as we need to. And what you have was a luxury resort, like these timeshare properties, kind of fall down to more your average timeshare resort. Nothing great, nothing spectacular, but you know, just kind of average. Definitely not up there to what would normally be the Hyatt standard. So I'm kind of curious, are you an owner at Hyatt Residence Club Sunset Harbor? Hoping you found this video helpful and informative. I'm going to put a link in the description box below to a thread over on the Timeshare Users Group forums, Tug BBS, and there's a lot of discussion happening over there about this vote that's coming up on July the 14th. I'm also curious, let me know your thoughts about this down below. Are you for this change, getting rid of Hyatt Residence Club as the resort manager of Sunset Harbor? Or are you kind of vehemently against it? Let me know that in the comments below as well. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help out these videos and gets them out to more people who are maybe owners at Hyatt Residence Club Sunset Harbor, so they can maybe, hopefully, make a better informed decision. And if you want to see more videos all about timeshare, I'll put some videos about some of the Hyatt Residence Club timeshare properties down in the What to Watch Next section in the description box below. And if you want to see another specific video, a resort tour here of Hyatt Coconut Plantation in Bonita Springs, Florida, I'll put a link to that one right up here. And YouTube, they think you'll like that one down there. Be sure to subscribe. You can do so by clicking on my picture right here. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, remember, the best destination is always a timeshare.